Shalom. The Palestinian case against Israel is based on a genocidal lie. The Palestinians claim that Israel has occupied Palestine. That is a complete lie. There is not one shred of truth to that. There's no Palestine to occupy. When Israel was created in 1948, there was no Palestine. There has never been a political entity, state, or country called Palestine in the Middle East. The derivation of the name Palestine is Roman, not Arabic. It was a name affixed to the Jewish homeland as an insult and punishment when Rome conquered Jerusalem and dispersed the Jews around the world. The land on which Israel now stands was part of the Turkish Empire for 400 years. The Turks are not Arabs, and there was never a province or an entity in the Turkish Empire ever called Palestine. In fact, virtually no Arabs called themselves Palestinians until 1964, when the Palestine Liberation Organization was created. And the goal of the PLO, as expressed in its charter, was not to liberate Arabs from foreign rule, but to destroy the Jewish state. And then Jordan annexed the West Bank, and Egypt annexed Gaza. The annexation of the so-called Palestinian homeland by these two powers called forth no protest from the Arab world. In fact, in 1964, when Jordan ruled the West Bank and Egypt ruled Gaza, the PLO did not call for the liberation of the West Bank or Gaza, it called for the destruction of the Zionist entity. Now, it's true that the Arabs of the West Bank and Gaza were suffering, and they're suffering because of 60 years of Arab aggression, 60 years of the Arabs rejecting peace, 60 years of the Arabs wanting to destroy Israel. They're suffering because whenever the Arabs of the West Bank and Gaza are given the opportunity to hold free elections, they elect terrorist and corrupt regimes that rule over them. Now, many people in history sadly have suffered through deprivation and oppression. But this is a people waging a calculated war on women and children, and they honor the murderers as heroes and martyrs. The lie that the Palestinians are occupied by Israel is genocidal in nature. The slogan flows from it. Palestine must be free from river to sea. It's a demand that 7 million Israelis must disappear and the Jewish state disappear. There's one reason and one reason alone there is no peace between Arabs and Israel. And that's because since 1948, the Arab aggressors have refused to live side by side with a non-Muslim, non-Arab Jewish state. That's it. So there is no occupation of Palestine. There never was a Palestine. And if Israel has already made huge concessions by giving the Sinai to Egypt, pulling out of Gaza and having Hamas, that terrorist, murderous organization, in charge there, offered virtually all of the West Bank to a Palestinian entity, and they responded with an intifada, mass murdering Jews. That's why there's no peace. So the Palestinian case against Israel is based on a genocidal lie. And until the world wakes up and realizes that, and doesn't do this foolish thing by endorsing a Palestinian state which is based on murder and terrorism, the world will be better off. The world should force the Arabs in that area of the world to say, we want to live in peace, we're going to live in peace, we're going to show you we're going to live in peace, and then there'd be peace. But until that happens, maybe when the Messiah comes, there cannot be peace, and Israel has to do what it has to do to protect its men, women, and children.